Hey, Dennis here with another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the answers are obvious. And the reason why I say that they're obvious is because everything is obvious once you know. And understanding something is not a matter of logic, then it is a matter of awareness. And also, to know something is not to know something on the level of concept, but beyond concept. And I think a lot of people take it for granted how we can know things, we can have insights into not only about the universe, about the self, but anything. I think this is highly unappreciated. I remember years ago, before I could even write my ABCs, I remember I was in the car with my mom and I would scribble some things on a piece of paper and I would ask her, does this mean anything? And she would tell me, no, that's just a bunch of nonsense or whatever. I don't remember at the time. She would tell me that no, it didn't mean anything. And isn't it interesting that we can take these things called lines, and if you arrange these lines in a particular order, you can get letters. If you take these letters and arrange them in a particular order, you can make words. And if you arrange these words in a particular order, you get sentences. And if you can read a sentence, there's this understanding that happens on a bigger level than just the words alone. And I think something like language is something that people don't appreciate because it's not, language is something people don't appreciate because it's not understanding what's being said on a conceptual level. It's about what's being communicated beyond words. So in one of my other videos, I talk about this very obvious, and I picked this example because people would say it's very obvious, and we can learn from this. In a sense of being, fruits and vegetables are healthy. And people say, yeah, I know that. But many people hear this idea, but do not act upon it because they keep it at the level of concept. They don't have the awareness, the actual knowing of what's being communicated, even though they think they know. Because they have an idea about what this self is, what is health, and what are vegetables, and what's fruit anyway. There's something being grasped beyond the words, and it shouldn't be taken for granted. The same way I think people take natural law for granted. For example, one idea with natural law is that you can take something called a seed and you put it in the ground. Now the seed will grow into something. And people would think, well, yeah, that's a very natural thing. But see, this isn't just a natural thing happening per se. Natural law is also spiritual, because how could this happen at all? How is it possible that you could take a seed, put it in the ground, and grow something? I think people take this for granted. The same idea being, how is any of this around you, how is it even possible at all? And when people don't act from this idea, because they just take it for granted, they think in a logical way, like this won't work. How could this work? It doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. But your entire experience is not based on logic. It's spiritual. This experience you're having with me isn't just, it's on YouTube, using a camera, and you're just watching me. This is a spiritual experience. And how is it possible that we can use this thing called the internet and do all these things at all? I think people take it for granted. And it's the same way with things like weightlifting. I like to think that I got a decent result in the gym, and people ask me, well, how'd you do it? And at a certain level of awareness, things become very, very obvious. So for someone to ask, how was it possible that you did it? How'd you do it? But to me, it was very obvious. Good diet, intensity in the gym, consistency, like all these things that people think are just very obvious. They don't know. Because it's not a matter of conceptual knowing. It's the awareness to grasp, getting the insight that's beyond just the words. This is why insights can never be communicated through words, because when they happen, there's something, God, the universe, that's grasping this. The same way if you were to tell a joke and there's a something implicit beyond the words, that's, you just get it. Like, say, dry humor, for example. There's something being communicated beyond the words, even though my face would be very serious when I say the joke. You either get it or you don't. The same way with knowing what truth is, say in a metaphysical sense, what's in spirituality, like knowing what that is, it's not a matter of me telling you the words, like what is it, or what it is. For one thing, it can't be defined. And to the extent that I can tell you, if I were to tell you this experience that we're having right now is your own mind, and everything around you is your mind. It's not separate. Now I can tell you this, which I am right now, and you could say that you understand that on some level, conceptually. But are you aware? And if you become aware of it, it's a totally different feeling, very different. This is also one of the traps that people fall into, is that they think they understand what they don't. All the answers are right here, right now, and they're very obvious. They don't call awakening the cosmic joke for nothing, because once you understand it, it's extremely obvious that you can't help but laugh. And then once you experience it, you can't tell anybody else, because it's implicit. It hides itself in the obviousness. It's so obvious that it's not obvious. Just like all your answers that you're looking for in your life are so right here, right now, so close to you that you can't see it. But having the awareness to know, to get it, that's the key. Not some logic, not understanding something on the matter of concept. And another thing is, if you think differently now, ask questions. You've already changed. Because I hear people say that they think these ideas and nothing's happening. But for you to even think that at all means you've already changed. Because the old you wouldn't have thought those things. If you're thinking differently now, you've already shifted. If you're watching this video and you've never watched a video like this before, then you've already changed. Because the old you would have never found this video. And to the extent that you did find this video, you and clicked off, then you were also not ready, because you wouldn't understand what I'm saying. Like the kind of person that hears me say vegetables and fruits are healthy and say, yes, I know that, click off, this is so stupid, what's that got to do with anything? Don't take it for granted. Metaphysical insights, when they happen, they're very obvious. Everything is very obvious. When someone asks me how I did anything, and they don't understand, well, it's because I put the seed in the ground and it grows. I'm like, what did you think it was? Because to think that it could have happened any other way is fantasy. Now here's another point to illustrate my point. Let's take magic, for example. So if I had a card here, and people's idea of magic is what? Maybe I make this disappear. So if this card were to somehow completely disappear in front of you, you would say that's magic. But what if that wasn't the case? What if it happened another way? Like if I did some trick and I deceived you through assumption and distraction. And you would say, well, no, that's okay, that the magic, the actual magic doesn't exist. But see, look, there's something else that's happening beyond this example. The idea that you can experience this at all is the trick. You are the trick. The answer you're looking for is you this whole time. It's very obvious. It's not that there's an answer out there. The answers are inside of you. Because this is all your mind. If you're going to find it, then it's up to you. Not because of someone or something explaining it to you. Now you might think, well, Dennis, you're explaining this to me right now. Yes, I am, and I'm your mind explaining it to you. Now I can tell you that, just like I can say fruits and vegetables are healthy. But if you have awareness at a certain level, you would understand that, oh, it's true. Dennis is my mind. Yes, and I always have been, as well as everything else. And that this video isn't happening in the past when I recorded it. It's happening right now. Only right now, because that's all there is. So if you're able to think differently right now, you've already changed. What you're experiencing in your outside world is just a reflection of your past thinking. But when you change, things around you change as well, because those things are you, and so am I. When somebody asks me about weightlifting and asks, how did I do it? For me to ask them, well, how do you think I did it? Because anything other than natural law, like eating healthy and intensity, that's fantasy. Don't expect an answer beyond what you think is the answer. Because look, when I was talking about magic with this card, for it to completely disappear in the way that you think that magic is, I mean like real magic, not like human magic, then that's fantasy. But see, it doesn't actually work that way. So you would then think, well, magic's not real. But no, that is the magic. Your entire existence is the magic. And to the extent that you're attracting all the things that you don't want and you say it's not working, that's you doing everything. But you don't have the awareness to know that that's what it is. So when someone tells me, and I have a friend that told me this directly as he was smoking and drinking, and he said, yeah, he would tell me the very obvious answers, like, yeah, the drinking, smoking, and I would think, oh yeah, you know that on the matter of concept, but you still do it because you haven't changed. But once you change on the inside, because the inner world, your imagination, which is God, universe, which is you, that is what's controlling everything, not these things out here. And to the extent that someone tells you, no, that's not right, you have to deny that. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. Remember, everything is obvious once you know, because everything is obvious. It's just a matter of awareness. So I hope this video was helpful. Like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.